This is Jason Sutton. I'm a PGA teaching professional at the Dana Rader Golf School here in beautiful Charlotte, North Carolina. And I want to talk to you today about swing playing. We've often heard that, it's very important to swing the golf club on the proper swing plane. How do we do that? Is the backswing important? That's what I want to talk to you about, is finding the right backswing to correctly swing the club on plane in the downswing. We've often heard that the backswing's overrated. And what people are talking about is, really, there's a lot of ways to take the club away. There's a lot of different top of swing positions out there that you'll see if you watch any of the guys on the PGA Tour that I want to go through. What's the right backswing for you in order to successfully get the club back on plane on the downswing, which is ultimately the most important part of hitting the ball solid and hitting the ball well. So let's talk about how do we start the backswing. Okay, a couple of different ways. There's two takeaways that you see good players use. And first of all, notice that I've got the plane stick here that represents the correct downswing plane. And it's simply the angle that the club sets on the ground. So it's the same angle as if I set this 7-iron on the ground. So, how do we take the club away? Well, there's really two options that we see out there. Number one is the one-piece takeaway. The one-piece takeaway is when the chest, shoulders, and your arms take the club back together as if a one-piece move. So as we take it back, our hands are going to stay in what I call a neutral position, meaning they're not going to bend, they're not going to hinge, and they're not going to lever. It's very similar to what you see players like Steve Stricker, Hunter Mahan, some of these guys that have the big muscle move that goes away from the target this way. So, one way to do it. Also, you see what I call the two-piece takeaway, where we add a little wrist hinge. This is a very effective way to swing the club back and get a good start to your takeaway. And it looks a little bit more like this. So we have a little bit of the one-piece move, and then we add a little hinge of the wrist, where the hinge is very vertical. Right? We don't want to make the club go inside too much. We don't want to roll it. So we want to make sure that the club is hinging upwards as we turn our chest and our shoulders back. So we blend the one piece with another move, which is the hinge. And that creates a great angle here that you'll see if you look at it from the face-on view, where the shaft of the club and the left arm at basically a 90-degree angle halfway back into your takeaway. Two very good options. You've got to figure out what works for you. I think taking it back with a two-piece move adds a little bit more speed in your golf swing if you can do that correctly. So guys and girls out there that are a little stronger, like a Tiger Woods, can effectively take it back with a later hinge where it gradually hinges up to the top and really get away with it. So, obviously we see a lot of top of swing positions out there that all seem to work, right? So the first one I want to talk about is the high hands position, or the high left arm position. You'll see this used by guys like Jim Furyk, maybe a John Senden, maybe a Carl Peterson, where the club goes back on plane at the start, but then their left arm climbs and gets very high up into their backswing. The hands are basically over their right ear, or almost over their head, it seems, especially for a guy like Jim Furyk. But they all seem to manage to drop the club back to the inside and on plane, which, as we talked about, is the number one deal. Number two is a more neutral position, as I would call it. This is where the club goes back on plane, and you'll see the left arm a little lower, and you'll see the hands at about a mid-range where the hands are more over the right shoulder. This is a great way to effectively find the plane line on the downswing as well. So that's what you see probably most commonly out there for good players, is kind of that neutral position. Tiger Woods is kind of there. You've got guys like Steve Stricker is there. You've got a lot of the guys out there that just have that kind of neutral position going back. Real easy way to kind of drop the handle, get the thing down to the inside, and hit the ball more from the inside. Now, the third way is what I call more of a low arm plane or a little bit flatter arm plane that again starts back on plane here. So these guys aren't getting there by sucking the club back to the inside like we all think that they're doing. They're still adhering to this very important line here, the swing plane line. So the club goes back on plane, club head's a little outside the hands even, and then you'll see the hands and the left arm go more across the chest, and the hands are actually back even closer to your right heel. Okay, a flatter golf swing. Maybe more like a Chad Campbell or a Matt Kuchar, or somebody that gets it flatter like a Zach Johnson. Very effective way to again find the plane line, because you're pretty much already there. You can see my hands are very close to the plane line even as they start down. So I recommend that type of style for the player that has a tendency to make a steepening move or an over-the-top move. That is a very, very good way to start to find the plane line, because you don't have to reroute the club a whole lot to find that inside area, the inside slot as we would call it. If you have that dropping move, which a lot of you have out there, that tends to maybe get you too far under plane, then you want to go with the neutral or even the high hands position to really match your backswing with your downswing. So let's recap here. There's a couple of ways to do it, right? So there's not one way to take the club away, and there's not one certain top of swing position that works for everybody. So the key is finding out how you can successfully get the club in the most important position, which is on plane in the downswing, where it matches here and we're coming from the inside so we can hit the ball solid. So you got 2 takeaways, you got 3 or so top positions, but you only have one plane line. Come and visit our website at danarader.com and check out all our programs and our golf schools, and we hope to see you soon on the lesson tee.